Hi, I'm Erika Larsson of erikalarson.com, and today I'm going to talk about the 4 personality styles and what challenges them and what they can do about it. And so let me just do a quick overview. We have the supporters, and they're all about nurturing and taking care of people and are all about relationships. Then we have the promoters. Promoters bring fun and action to the world, and they're all about freedom to act when they need to. Then we have the planners, and they do just that. They're the work bees, they get things done, and they're all about being responsible in the world. And finally, we have the thinkers. Thinkers are the change agents that change the status quo and improve upon things, and they're all about being competent. So those are the 4 personality styles, but every personality style has challenges things that challenge them, and so we're going to look at that today. And there's lots of more information on my website, erikalarson.com. So, the supporters, they are especially fearful of stepping out of their comfort zone to make changes or to speak their mind because they don't want to upset anybody else. Remember, they do everything to avoid conflict. And so they think, if I speak up now, there could be conflict. They do everything possible to avoid that and to keep peace and harmony in their environment. And so the number 1 challenge we're going to look at that they have is self-validation, saying, I matter. They are terrible with that. They put everybody else first. And so they need to practice taking time to refuel and pampering themselves. You know, there's a saying, you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. Well, that's what they need to practice, because they're always giving to everyone. They're here to nurture and care for people, but they have to put themselves as a priority. Another challenge for the supporter is rescuing or being an enabler. Okay, I know that's hitting some of you between the eyes. Wanting to fix problems for others. They're good at it, but that doesn't mean that they should be doing it. So they need to practice holding people accountable without being an enabler, and selectively choosing the issues that they take on because they take it personally. Another area of challenge for the supporter is accepting criticism without reacting negatively. They just take criticism on like they're so flawed. And that isn't always there can be good criticism. So they need to practice discerning between positive and negative criticism, and then accepting that certain criticism can help them to improve and is not an attack on their character. Another area of challenge is wanting to escape conflict or disharmony. Run from it. Do everything to avoid it. Sweep it under the rug. Well, that doesn't work. So they need to practice allowing disagreements, using accountability language like I feel or I think, to dispel any anger that's going on and to work on reaching a win-win solution. Another area of challenge for them is making things sound better or worse than they are. A little bit of drama added in. And so they need to practice eliminating the drama king or drama queen behavior. And then we go to the promoters. The promoters, a challenge for the promoter personality is structure or rules or anything that restricts their freedom to move or take action or to express themselves. They will break all rules to secure their freedom. So an area of challenge for them is bureaucracy or structure or restrictions, rules, regulations, policies and procedures, that kind of thing. They need to practice obeying rules, accepting that structure and regulations are in place for a reason, and it can be helpful. Some people need them. Another area of challenge is completion. They start things and they don't finish them. They don't follow through. They need to practice discipline to follow through to completion. Excuse me. Or enrolling others that are gifted in the area to help them out. Another area of challenge is acting or speaking on impulse. They think out loud. Not always good. So an area that they can work on or practice is taking time to think before speaking or acting. Promoters are challenged when they're bored. From predictability or sameness at work or in relationships. So if you're dating a promoter, make sure that you're not always doing the same thing or asking them, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Actually, most women don't like that, but kick it up a notch. Do something different. Take them on an adventure. That'll make them happy. So what they need to practice is being the game changer instead of wasting time daydreaming when they're bored. Daydreaming about it being different. Just be the game changer. They need to practice. A challenge for them is impatience, especially when they have to wait for something. Anything. It can be waiting in a lineup, waiting in traffic, or waiting to buy something. It's all a challenge for them. And so they need to practice patience and directing energy in a positive direction when they have to wait for something. Just practice steadfast endurance, or bring a book or something to do if you are in a lineup where you have to wait. Then we have the next category, planners. Their nonconformists seem to be a major challenge for any planner that I've ever known. They feel that everything runs better when there's rules and regulations, and feel it's their obligation to ensure these mandates get enforced. So they'll tell you if you are doing something wrong. They don't hesitate to tell you. Duty runs their life so as not to be labeled as lazy or irresponsible. So let's look at the areas of challenge for them. Finding balance. Duty always takes priority over everything else. So a balanced life is something that every planner struggles with. And they just need to practice relaxing with no agenda at all. But, you know, if they put that into their planning, I'm planning to relax with no agenda, it'll happen. They just need to include time to relax because they're not good at it. Another area of challenge is worrying, being anxious or letting go. These are the worry warts. They worry about things, and, you know, very little of what we worry about actually ever happens. So they need to practice trusting that everything will work out without their control. Another area of challenge for these people is finger wagging, and stop the use of should and shouldn't. Now, they think there's a right and a wrong for everything. They don't hesitate to tell you, but it's an area of challenge because not everybody wants that, especially when we're adults, or even children don't like that very much either. So they need to practice allowing and accepting that people have a choice to do things their way. A planner thinks their way is right all the time, but it isn't. I hate to break it to you. Another area of challenge is being a perfectionist. Need to realize that their high standards can be discouraging to other people. And what they need to practice is accepting that the standards of others, they can set the standard by living it and showing it to others rather than telling them about it and making others wrong in the process. And the final challenging area for the planner is controlling and micromanaging others. They need to practice accepting that other people are quite capable. Even if they make a mistake, they will learn from it. So that's a big area of challenge for them. And of course, finally, we have the thinkers. What challenges the thinker personality style is social settings with pressure to small talk with people who they share very little in common. And they feel awkward in these settings and crave alone time when they can be with their thoughts and ideas. That alone time is so important for them. But let's look at the areas of challenge. So we already said it's socializing, small talk, people skills, and social graces. These are challenges for them. And part of it is because they don't have eye contact, which we'll talk about next. But they need to practice learning the personality style differences so that they can better their social and business interactions. If they would just know the 4 personality styles and how they speak and listen and so forth, and all the traits of the 4, it would help them significantly to not feel so awkward in social settings. And of course, another really huge area of challenge for them is having eye contact when they're talking to people. They so often look away like this when they're talking to you, and personally, I feel like, are they even listening? Do they care? And so they need to practice learning social etiquette and having eye contact, because a lot of our body language happens in our face and they miss all the cues. So that's an area they can practice for sure. Another area of challenge for them is allowing conversation to flow, responding quickly without analyzing and searching for purpose and meaning in every conversation, and asking why questions. So they need to practice letting people know when they require time to think, because they do. They formulate the big picture in their mind and they need the time to do that. And it's okay to say that. Practice responding more rapidly without analyzing everything first. Sometimes it's just a simple answer. It doesn't need a lot of analysis, but that's what they do best, so they do it in everything. Another area of challenge is being perfectionist. Same as the planner, they're perfectionistic as well. And they need to accept that errors can happen. Remember, they're all about being competent. And so they want to perfect everything that they do. And they usually do it quite well, but they expect it from everybody else. And finally, being less critical. That is a big challenge for them. They just blurt it out how they see it. And so they need to learn and practice holding their tongues instead of criticizing others, accepting that others can be a contribution. Learn to use softeners when communicating. Now, they're so logical and fact-based that, well, why would you be offended by that? I'm helping you is what they're thinking, but others don't perceive it that way. And so it's an area of challenge for them. I'm going to be doing 3 additional videos so that you can really get to know the challenges, especially if you're married to someone or you have kids or you co-workers or whatever it is. These are the 4 people you need to know, and the more you know about them, the easier time you will have connecting with people and having meaningful relationships. So that is why I'm doing these series for you. So there'll be 3 other videos coming up about the 4 personalities and the challenging areas that each one faces. So again, there's lots of information and video blog on my website, Erika, Erika, and then Larsson, LARSSON.com. And there's a free personality quiz as well. So have your friends do it so that you know who you're interacting with and who they are and what their challenges are. So I hope you'll tune in for the video number 2 about the challenges that we all face. Thank you.